Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go over the United States 2026 Insight predictions. So we're going to start with the security incidents. I was getting a major public safety issue incident taking place. Could be around aviation, railways, tunnels possibly, and bridges. I don't know why I was thinking bridges really stand out, so just mentioning it. The next thing I was getting was urban disruption in a large metro city. I was seeing smoke, fire, evacuation, and emergency response. We could see plots, multiple plots, putting certain areas at high alert, and I see a arrest being made. When I say plot, this could be to explode or cause some type of chaotic situation in a large facility of some kind, but I don't see it going full force. Again, I do see arrest being made. Power disruptions, quite a few of those. Outages, and I'm getting something with the grid instability. And then we have water and fuel interruptions as well. And this also brings out internet communications and, communication failures. There's going to be transport closures, shutdowns, and this would include railways, ports, shipping, and air aviation. Data systems will be interfered with, and this is going to cause supply chain issues as well. And I believe that this is all happening, allegedly. This is all happening to create fear and inconvenience to the American people. Testing government response, and it sends a message without fingerprints. So this is all done digital in some way. I do believe some of it's going to happen right here within the United States. The deep swamp will have their hands in this. And then there's going to be one or two possible outside of the country as well. You can think of it like this. It's about turning things off, not blowing things up. Moving on to political resignations and possible removals for 2026. I was getting something, guys. 2 or 3 high-ranking officials step down or they're going to be removed. I know, I was like, 3, damn. But yeah, I was getting 3, at least 2 or 3 high-ranking top officials here in the United States will step down or they're going to be physically removed. And then also I was getting something with a cabinet level shakeup. One major U.S. cabinet secretary removed. He either resigns or is forced to step down. I think I mentioned this person's name in a prior video, but anyways, we'll see what happens. I was getting one very high level national security figure loses authority in 2026. The Alphabet Boys and some of the FBI, involving Central Intel could possibly be let go quietly. So a lot of things that are going to be happening in 2026. Everybody calls it the reset. I call it getting rid of what no longer serves and bringing in what serves, if that makes sense. And right now, that sounds impossible because of everything that we're seeing out in the public, but don't let that distract you because it is being done for a distraction, guys. I'm going to talk about Trump and some power moves. I was getting Trump. He's consolidating executive authority's power and is going to centralize in the White House. It's really weird how that was coming in. And then I was getting something with agencies will lose credibility. Some will. As decisions will seem to move faster and there's going to be fewer internal breaks. Which leads me to the major internal purge. As senior officials removed or pushed aside. That's what I'm talking about when I say 2 or 3. It's going to be actually more than that. Because loyalty is tested and is going to be enforced. Acting leaders will replace resistant figures. So a lot of loyalty. It's going to be a lot of backstabbing. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of people turning on each other. We are going to see more pressure that's going to be put on our allies / enemies, because some of the allies that claim to be our friends are not our friends, and they are connected to the West. All right. There's going to be moves that take place suddenly, and it's not going to be telegraphed or in the news at first. And I was getting something with courts will unlock dominance or allow dominance. Global moves come fast. So there's something that's going to take place with a NATO country in regards to friendship to the United States. And we're going to realize that they are not our friends. I feel like it could be connected to the British Empire. And when I say British Empire, you're probably like, oh, that's just like the UK. No, honey, that covers all of Europe. So, but there's going to be a country that turns on us. And it's going to be done quietly. And then we're going to learn of it, and then Trump is going to take action in some way. I don't know how. No, we all understand that Greenland is Trump's priority. I've spoke on Greenland in prior videos. I said if he tries to get greedy, he's going to get ill. He's going to find himself falling ill because of the ancestry over there. But it is his priority for 2026. I do see the United States military, more presence with security. It's going to expand. And I'm also getting something with the economy leverage will be used, bringing quiet negotiations behind the scene, but it's going to cause loud backlash. Meanwhile, Denmark will be sidelined, not confronted directly. I think we all expect that, though. I think we all know that's going to happen. I do see issues with NATO. Tensions will arise. And there's going to be issues with France and Germany not agreeing with Trump. Starmer, yeah, he would like to follow them, but he's kind of stuck in a corner. But we're going to hear things about Germany and France in regards to the United States. The relations are going to change quite a bit. The economy, well, it's going to be a little unstable, but it's not going to collapse here in the States. We'll see a brief slowdown. It's going to be kind of scary. Then there's going to be a partial rebound, is how I was seeing that. However, I do see high debt pressure with government consumers. We could see some high debt there. People are going to be pissed over interest rates as well, due to staying restrictive longer than expected. There's going to be certain banks, stress pockets, but I don't feel a full crash. I was getting something with Wells Fargo and a few other ones, Chase Bank maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. So don't pull out your money because I'm saying that this is going to happen. I'm telling you, a lot of what we're seeing is going to be on the verge, and there's a savior. There will be more layoffs, but not in masses, and improvement will come by the end of late summer. Cost of living will remain high as our markets appear unpredictable on the news. It's basically rich versus the poor will deepen, leaving middle class hanging by a string, and I can feel that already because I'm considered middle class, and it's just going to get harder for us. So basically, the United States economy swings, but it will not crash. Let's talk about the weather briefly. I do see there's going to be possibly 2 or 3 organized storms, rapid intensification, and basically what I'm seeing with these storms is rain and flooding. I was getting Texas, upper and central coast, as well as parts of Louisiana. And there's going to be possibly a spillover, which would fall into Mississippi and Alabama. Florida, I was getting some flooding there as well. I did not pick up anything for a lot of the East Coast. However, my main focus was the Gulf because I live in the Gulf. But if I get anything additional for other states, I will definitely make a separate video for that. We're going to have recorded heat, extreme heat that's going to last for weeks. Nighttime heat stays high. It will not cool in the evenings or late night. It's going to be hot. This is going to cause a power grid problem, strain on the power grid due to AC demands, especially at nighttime. There's going to be water restrictions enforced, crop and livestock stress, as well as I was seeing ER ambulance visits because the heat-related emergencies are going to increase. These areas, I was getting Texas, which is part of the panhandle of Texas, and that would include North Texas and the Plains. Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and parts of Kansas. Another thing I kept being shown for 2026 is wildfires, and I'm getting this more toward the West Coast and the Rockies. And the areas I have down is multiple fires. California, Washington State, possibly Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Oregon, and maybe even Idaho could see fires. When it comes to tornadoes, I was getting Midwest, and actually, this is really odd. When I speak on Midwest, I'm talking like some of the areas I just mentioned, but Ohio is going to have possibly a tornado. So the storms that we're seeing in 2026 are slowly making an east turnaround. I don't know how to explain this. They're making an east direction. So by 2027, 2028, we're going to see more tornadoes on the East Coast, actually. But right now, I'm getting one for the state of Ohio, possibly Oklahoma, and Kansas. But we could see them in other states like Tennessee as well, because that's going east. But I was just naming the states that I was getting. Also, I'm hearing Colorado River stress. So this is part of the Rockies, West Coast. There's going to be a water crisis in Southwest. And I'm getting the Rockies, Colorado River stress. I don't know if it dries. I don't know if Colorado is going to get the storm and it's going to flood over. I'm hearing it. I'm not actually seeing it, but I feel like this is going to be connected to a water crisis of some kind. The Rockies. So the Rockies cover the areas that I just mentioned. The Rockies cover like the Washington State, Colorado, Montana, Wyoming, parts of Idaho, Colorado, and places like that. So I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. Another thing I want to mention is that I put out a video about 2.5 months ago, and I spoke on the governor of Florida and the governor of Texas would be working together in some way to fight to get aid or some type of supplies or pushing for something. And these two governors, Mr. Abbott and DeSantis, would be working together to do so. And I was being shown FEMA tents. At the time, I thought this was connected to possibly immigration. Now I'm looking at it and I don't think so. I'm getting that there is a crisis, or I don't want to use the word crisis, but there's going to be an issue that takes place in parts of Texas and parts of Florida around the same time. I don't know if it is connected to the same storm or if Texas is having a drought and Florida is flooding. I don't know how this is going to play out, but it feels to be connected to something possibly we could say natural. And also I was getting, as I'm talking about this, it's really weird. I'm seeing a power grid issue even in Texas. Well, yeah, I am seeing a power grid issue. So there's a lot of heat and water at the same time coming in 2026. But we could learn of Ron DeSantis and Mr. Abbott, the governor of Texas, working together, pushing to get aid or pushing to get something, and the White House is taking their time to send it, is how I'm getting it. But I'm not sure exactly how this is going to play out either. Just sharing it. And I'm back a few hours later with some more. That's why I didn't want to upload this right away, because I want it to be open. I had spoke on not getting a lot of things for the West Coast, interestingly, because now things are coming in. So this is something random. I'm just going to throw it in here. San Jose, and I believe you guys would call this the Bay Area, but don't quote me on that. San Jose. I am seeing a high-profile tech of some kind. Either he's an owner, a business, but it pertains to tech. This company could face layoffs, but also there is some scrutiny behind it. And I'm getting a snitch. I'm hearing the word snitch, actually. So I'm going to refer that to someone who is going to come out with some type of knowledge. You could even say a whistleblower. Or even some type of document is going to be released, is possible. I don't know why, but that's coming in. Also, I'm getting an earthquake for the San Jose Bay Area for 2026. Now we're going to go over a few areas that came through for possible quake activity. Interestingly, for Santa Barbara, I do see possible earthquake. But when I say earthquake, I don't mean it's going to be detrimental, guys. I'm not being shown a huge, this is it, this is the one, earthquake. But I'm just getting a lot of rumble underneath the ground. It is really, I feel like the ground is moving to rebalance itself, to be honest. But with Santa Barbara, I'm also getting something with a evacuation drill. It does not feel to be connected to the earthquake. It's just some type of drill that Santa Barbara is going to put in place for whatever reason. Don't know. Other areas that could experience rumbling under the ground, let's just say that. Santa Barbara, Kelowna Bay, earthquake. And I just mentioned that, but I said it again. Los Angeles, San Bernardino, Riverside area, quakes are going to be more prominent. Again, I don't see the one, but I'm just telling you what I'm getting. More activity under the ground in those areas. Then we have Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, and interestingly, I was getting something with Olympia, Washington. These areas don't feel to have what they call earthquakes, but there's going to be something detected under deep in the earth by the scientists. So we may learn in 2026 that Portland, Seattle, and Olympia may be a hot spot for quakes in the future, okay? Another area that really lit up for me is okay, I'm going to spell it, Aleutiin region of Alaska. That really was highlighted for me, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Then I was getting something with Memphis, and that's not unusual. Tennessee does get tremors occasionally. So Memphis, and then I was hearing Jonesboro. Now, I know there's a Jonesboro in Tennessee, but there's also a Jonesboro in Arkansas, I do believe. But I was hearing Jonesboro. I was hearing that. Utah, possibly places like Provo and Salt Lake City could have some trembling. Again, I don't see nothing significant there. I believe there's going to be a lot of quake activity, even if it's underground and it doesn't cause damage. And this is due to the United States as it's in a pressure release cycle, not a catastrophic one underground, but it's pressure release. As the earth responds to human stress, strain, and collective tension. And again, I feel like the ground is moving to rebalance itself. And briefly, I want to touch on Iran. I do see a lot of military buildup, and it's going to get more hectic than we think. But I do not see a all-out war with Iran, but I do see a lot of pressure and military assets going over there, but not actual war as of now. Now, I'll look back into Iran. I will look back into it probably after June because the timelines do change on these type of things, and it does need to be looked into again. But for now, I don't see war. When it comes to the viruses here in the United States, I don't get a catastrophic energy around that, but I do see flare-ups from prior respiratory viruses that have mutated. So if there's any C19 lingering, it's mutating. But I don't see it catastrophic. I do know that there is the bat virus, and I actually put something out about that 7 months ago. There's going to be more studying on that, and we're going to hear about it, and we may even become fearful, but I don't see it taking over the states. I just don't see that at this time. The other thing I want to speak on that's pretty significant, I do see a nationwide system that's going to go down, and it's going to cause this huge disruption for the American people. It's going to bring a lot of confusion and fear because we're going to think that maybe we have been extremely hacked. I do see hacks happening, But this particular situation is, again, within the United States. It's not a outside force like China, Russia, or anywhere else. This is going to be a failure, and it seems to be based around possibly banking. It's actually a tech failure is what I'm being shown. It's not a cyber attack from a foreign entity. It is a tech failure. We'll have to wait and see if that comes to fruition. Hopefully not. But it's going to cause a lot of confusion around the American people because it's going to affect not just one bank or one financial system. It's going to affect multiple. But it will be fixed and corrected. But in the meantime, it's just something to cause fear. Let me just be honest. That's what the hell it is. Okay, guys. Well, that's all I have for you all. I am sorry it took me a while to come out with 2026, but I've been getting things slow. So I have shared what I can give you. And if you are a subscriber, new or old, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you. Thank you to my new members only. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'm going to put some content out there for you all as well. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. Watch the video, hit the like button, hype the video if the option is available. I've been told that my hype is not on all of my videos, and I think that's true for most YouTubers. I think they only select a few videos per upload that they will allow you to hype. So I don't know. But hit the like button, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And again, thank you all, and I will catch you in the next one.